There comes a time in every person's life when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. Not because we didn't try hard enough. Not because we didn't love deeply enough. But because the weight we're carrying is no longer moving us forward. Think about it. How many nights have you laid awake, replaying one moment that you can't change? How many times have you sat with your own thoughts, trying to understand why something unfolded the way it did? How many times did you tell yourself, maybe if I had done this, maybe if I didn't say that? We're all guilty of it. We stay hoping something will return to how it used to be. We stay hoping someone will finally see our worth. We stay fighting battles that ended long before we accepted it. But the truth is simple and painful. Some things are not meant to stay. Some seasons are not meant to last. Some people are not meant to walk with us forever. And that's not failure. That's life. Letting go is not about giving up. Letting go is choosing peace over chaos. Healing over repeating. Growth over familiar pain. And if you're listening to me right now, I want you to understand something deeply. Burdens don't always fall off by themselves. Sometimes you have to open your hands. Today's message is not just another motivational talk. It is a mirror, a moment of truth, for anyone who is tired of holding on to things that are slowly draining them. This is your space, your pause, your breath, your gentle reminder that life is waiting for you on the other side of what you fear to release. Let's walk through it together. Why we hold on to what hurts. Most people think we hold on because we're weak. But that's not true. The real reason we hold on is because we believe. We believe in the potential of what once felt good. We believe that maybe tomorrow will be different. We believe that if we love harder, try harder, give more, sacrifice more, maybe things will finally align. Hope is beautiful, but hope can also become a trap when it's attached to the wrong things. 1. We hold on because the past felt safe. There is comfort in familiarity, even when it hurts. Even when it's toxic. Even when we know it's not good for us. People don't fear letting go. They fear what comes after it. The silence, the emptiness, the uncertainty. That unknown can feel scarier than the pain we've gotten used to. 2. We hold on because of guilt. We feel responsible for the outcome. We blame ourselves. We think if things fell apart, it must mean we didn't try hard enough. But guilt is not truth. Guilt is a story we tell ourselves to explain what hurts. 3. We hold on because we're terrified of starting over. Starting again feels like failure. It feels like going back to zero. It feels like admitting that everything we invested, emotionally, mentally, physically, didn't bring the result we hoped for. But starting over is actually strength. It is courage. It is clarity. There is nothing weak about walking away from what is breaking you. For we hold on because we still see the potential. Potential is tricky. It makes us fall in love with what could be, not what is. So, if they change, if things get better, if we go back to how it used to be. But here's the truth. You cannot build a future on the potential you see in someone if they don't see it in themselves. 5. We hold on because we're afraid of losing memories. Sometimes we don't want to let go because we don't want to forget. We don't want the laughter, the moments, the beautiful pieces of the story to dissolve. But memories don't disappear when you release the pain. You carry the lessons. You carry the love. You carry the experience. Letting go doesn't erase the past. It simply means the story is shifting into something new. The prison of overthinking. Let's talk about overthinking. Because if we're honest, overthinking has destroyed more peace than the people or events we're thinking about. Overthinking is like watching the same movie over and over. Except every time you watch it, you feel worse. You replay conversations that already happened. You analyze facial expressions. You decode messages. You look for signs that may not exist. You sit with thoughts that twist your emotions into knots. But here's something few people admit. Overthinking is not a sign of intelligence. It's a sign of unprocessed pain. The mind becomes loud when the heart is carrying too much. Overthinking drains your energy. You feel exhausted even when you haven't done anything. You feel mentally tired before the day even begins. Overthinking kills your peace. Your body is present, but your mind is everywhere except where it should be. You want to rest, but your thoughts won't let you. You want to move on, but your mind keeps dragging you back. Overthinking creates problems that don't exist. Your mind becomes a storyteller, adding scenes, adding details, adding endings that reality never wrote. You start assuming. You start fearing. You start believing thoughts that were never true. So why do we overthink? Because we want answers. We want closure. We want certainty in a world that doesn't always give it. We overthink because we want to feel in control. But the irony is this. The more we try to control everything, the more everything feels out of control. The moment you stop trying to fix every scenario in your head is the moment your heart finally gets a chance to breathe. Fear, the silent enemy of healing. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience. It can paralyze you. It can make you stay in situations that are hurting you. It can make you believe that pain is safer than uncertainty. Let's break down the fears that keep people stuck. 1. Fear of the unknown. What if I never find something better? What if I regret leaving? What if this pain is easier than what comes next? But what if the unknown is where your healing lives? What if what you fear losing is actually what's blocking your blessings? 2. Fear of loneliness. Loneliness is real. It stings. It makes you question your worth. But loneliness is better than being surrounded by people who make you feel alone. Sometimes, the silence you fear is the space you need to rediscover yourself. 3. Fear of change. We're creatures of habit, even when the habits are toxic. But change is unavoidable. You either move with life, or life drags you places you're not prepared for. For fear of losing identity. Sometimes the hardest part of letting go is realizing you don't know who you are without the thing you're releasing. But that's the beauty of it. You get to rewrite yourself. You get to rebuild. You get to begin again, stronger, wiser, more grounded. Emotional pain, when the heart needs to let go. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the messenger. Pain tells you when something isn't right. Pain tells you what needs attention. Pain tells you what needs to change. But humans don't like pain. We avoid it. We bury it. We distract ourselves from it. The problem is, what you avoid doesn't disappear. It transforms. Avoided pain becomes anger. Avoided anger becomes resentment. Avoided emotions become emotional numbness. But when you face your pain, you take back control. Letting go is not the same as forgetting. It's not pretending it didn't hurt. It's not forcing yourself to move on quickly. Letting go means I won't let this control me anymore. Your heart deserves that freedom. The moment you realize you can't hold on anymore, there is always a turning point. A moment, sometimes small, sometimes loud, when something inside you shifts. It may not happen dramatically. It may not come with warnings. It may not even be obvious to the people around you. But you feel it. It's that morning you wake up and the weight feels different. Not heavier, just unnecessary. It's the moment you hear a familiar excuse from someone, and instead of reacting, your spirit feels tired, not angry, just done. It's the moment you stop explaining yourself, stop defending yourself, stop chasing closure, because suddenly you understand something deeply. Nothing you say will change what someone has already decided. This is the moment when survival instincts kick in. Not survival in the sense of danger. Survival in the sense of protecting your peace, your energy, your mind. People often think the moment of letting go is the moment you walk away physically. But it happens long before that. Letting go begins internally, in the shift of your heart, in the quiet acceptance that you deserve better, in the understanding that you cannot heal in the same environment that wounded you. This is the moment you begin to breathe again. Not fully, but enough to know that something in you has awakened. And once that inner awakening starts, it becomes harder to stay where your soul no longer belongs. Detachment, the spiritual art of release. Letting go is not always a physical act. It is deeply spiritual. The greatest lessons in life often come from releasing things you once thought you couldn't live without. Spiritual detachment is not coldness. It's not shutting your heart. It's not pretending not to care. Spiritual detachment means this: I release the illusion that I have control over things I never controlled. I release the need to force outcomes. I release the attachments that make me believe my worth depends on something outside of me. Your spirit becomes lighter when you stop holding on to things God has already removed his hands from. When God closes a door, it's not rejection, it's protection. We sometimes want things so badly that we ignore the signs. We ignore the emotional red flags. We ignore the discomfort. We ignore the truth because the truth hurts. But spiritual growth requires honesty. If something is draining your peace, stealing your joy, clouding your clarity, interrupting your purpose, it is not aligned with your spirit. Detachment is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. The practice of choosing yourself. A practice of choosing peace over chaos. A practice of trusting that what is meant for you will never need to be forced. What you gain when you let go. People focus so much on what they lose when they let go, that they forget what they gain. And the truth is this: letting go gives you far more than holding on ever will. Here's what begins to happen when you release what no longer serves you. 1. You gain mental clarity. Suddenly, the noise begins to quiet. Your thoughts become lighter. The overthinking reduces. The constant emotional pressure lifts. Clarity feels like finally seeing with your own eyes again, instead of through the fog of fear or attachment. 2. You gain emotional strength. Letting go does not make you weaker. It makes you powerful, because it proves that you have the courage to choose your well-being over your fear. 3. You gain self-respect. Nothing builds confidence more than the moment you choose yourself. The moment you say, "I deserve better than this," and follow through. Self-respect is not taught. It's earned by the decisions you make when no one is watching. 4. You gain peace. The kind of peace that feels like breathing after holding your breath for too long. The peace that comes when you stop fighting battles you were never meant to fight. 5. You gain space for something better. Life has a way of rewarding emptiness. When you release something, you create space for new people, new opportunities, new blessings. Sometimes your hands must be empty for God to place something better in them. 6. You gain yourself again. And this is the most important part. Letting go brings you back to you, your mind, your dreams, your identity, your purpose. It reconnects you to the version of yourself you lost while trying to hold on to something that wasn't meant to stay. How to let go without breaking down. Letting go is painful. Pretending it is not only makes the process harder. There is no easy way to release something you once held close. But there are healthy ways, grounded, human ways, to navigate it. 1. Accept reality without sugarcoating it. Acceptance is not agreement. Acceptance is clarity. Saying, this is what it is, not what I hoped it would be. Denial only drags out your suffering. 2. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't want to understand. You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to defend your pain. You don't owe anyone endless explanations. People who truly care will understand without being begged. 3. Allow yourself to grieve. Letting go is a form of grief. And grieving is not weakness. It's how we heal. Cry if you need to. Rest if you need to. Feel everything without judgment. Pain is part of the process. But it is not the destination. Set boundaries. Not to punish others, but to protect yourself. Boundaries are the walls that guard your peace. 5. Rebuild your routine. A new chapter requires new habits. New morning routines. New thoughts. New environments. It's not about forgetting the past. It's about creating a future that doesn't revolve around it. 6. Forgive without returning. Forgiveness is for your peace, not for reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still never allow them access to your life again. 7. Focus on who you are becoming. Letting go is not just about release. It's about rebirth. The version of you that is emerging is wiser, lighter, more grounded, and more aligned. Hold on to that. When holding on is more painful than letting go, there comes a point in every person's life when you must stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? The truth is, holding on is often more painful than the fear of losing something. But we cling because we think the pain we know is safer than the uncertainty we don't understand. And yet, deep down, you feel it. The heaviness, the exhaustion, the quiet ache of trying to fix something alone. Sometimes, the pain of holding on doesn't come all at once. Comes slowly, like carrying a bag that gets heavier each day. At first, you think you can manage. But as time passes, your hand begins to shake, your arm grows tired, and then suddenly, you realize you've been carrying something that was never meant for you. What makes it even harder is the emotional attachment. We hold on to people, memories, expectations, feelings, not because they are healthy, but because they once made us feel alive. But here's the truth no one likes to hear. Not everyone you love is meant to stay. Not every chapter is meant to continue. Not every bond is meant to be permanent. And sometimes, the very thing you are afraid to let go of is the very thing preventing you from growing. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you choose peace over chaos. It means you choose growth over comfort. It means you finally choose yourself. When the pain of holding on becomes heavier than the fear of the unknown, that is your sign. That is your confirmation. That is the moment life whispers, "It's time." Not because you are giving up, but because you are waking up. How to detox your mind and rewrite your emotional story. Your mind is the home you live in every single day. If you do not clean it, if you do not protect it, if you do not renew it, it becomes cluttered with old memories, old fears, old wounds, and old voices that no longer speak life. Letting go requires mental detox. And mental detox is not about pretending nothing happened. It's about understanding it, processing it, and releasing the emotional poison that keeps you tied to the past. Here's how you begin to cleanse your mind. 1. Challenge the story you keep repeating to yourself. Most people don't suffer from what happened. They suffer from the story they keep replaying. The story that I wasn't enough. I should have done more. It's my fault. These stories build emotional prisons. Ask yourself instead, what if I was always enough? What if I did the best I could? What if this ending was protection? What if this pain is preparation? Change the story. Change your emotional life. 2. Stop over-identifying with your wounds. You are not what they did. You are not the disappointment. You are not the abandonment. You are not the rejection. You are the person who survived it. The wound is the event. Your identity is who you became after the event. 3. Create mental distance from your triggers. Every time your mind tries to pull you back to the past, don't fight the thought. Create distance. That's just a memory. It's not my reality anymore. This simple shift gives your mind room to breathe. 4. Replace rumination with movement. When the mind overthinks, the body must move. Take a walk. Clean your space. Do one small action to shift your energy. The mind calms when the body moves. 5. Start pouring truth into your mind. You can let go faster when you feed your mind with truths like, I deserve peace. I deserve respect. I deserve love that doesn't confuse me. These truths become like spiritual cleaning agents, detoxifying every corner of your thinking. Letting go is not about forgetting. It's about remembering who you are without the weight. Closure is an internal decision. One of the biggest lies people believe is that closure must come from someone else. A conversation, an apology, an explanation, a final moment that ties everything up neatly. But life does not work like that. People don't always apologize. People don't always explain themselves. People don't always make sense of the harm they caused. And if you wait for them to bring you closure, you may spend years waiting for something they are incapable of giving. Closure is not a conversation. Closure is a choice. A choice to stop reopening the wound. A choice to stop seeking validation from someone who mishandled your heart. A choice to stop revisiting the same emotional doorway expecting a different outcome. You create closure when you say, I will no longer hold myself hostage to the past. I accept that this chapter is over. I release this connection with peace. I free myself to grow. Closure is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your freedom. And the moment you choose closure internally, your energy shifts. your heart becomes lighter, your path becomes clearer, and life begins to open new doors effortlessly. How to rise stronger after letting go. Letting go is not the end of you. It is the beginning of a new version of you. A stronger you, a wiser you, a more grounded you. After you release something or someone who was weighing you down, you must rise. Here's how you begin rising again. 1. Reclaim your identity. Sometimes we lose ourselves while trying to hold on to others. Now is your time to reconnect with your dreams, your values, your personality. Ask yourself, what do I actually want? What makes me feel alive? Who am I when I am not attached to anyone? This is how you rebuild your life from the inside out. 2. Rebuild your confidence through small wins. Start with the little things. Wake up early. Clean your space. Eat better. Drink water. Finish that small task you've been avoiding. Confidence grows from consistency, not perfection. 3. Reconnect with your spiritual life. Letting go often leaves a spiritual vacuum. Fill it with grounding practices, quiet time, meditation, journaling, prayer, gratitude. Your spirit needs nourishment just as much as your mind. Surround yourself with energy that lifts you. Protect your circle. You don't need many people, you need aligned people. People who bring peace. People who bring clarity. People who bring truth. People who bring encouragement. One aligned person in your life is worth more than 10 inconsistent ones. 5. Start replacing fear with vision. Letting go creates fear because the future feels uncertain. Replace that fear with a powerful question. What kind of life do I want to build from here? Let that question guide you into your next season. 6. Create a purpose-filled routine. Your habits shape your healing. Build routines that support growth, wellness, clarity, and discipline. Every strong comeback begins with strong habits. The silent power of distance. There comes a moment in your life when silence becomes louder than explanations. When stepping back becomes healthier than holding on. When distance becomes the medicine you didn't know you needed. Distance is not punishment. Distance is clarity. You see, when you're close to something, too close, you lose perspective. You don't see the dysfunction, the emotional drain, the slow corrosion of your peace. You tell yourself, it's not that bad, because you're inside the storm, not watching it. But the moment you step away, even a little, you start to breathe again. Distance reveals truth. Distance reveals patterns. Distance reveals who actually values you and who only values your presence, your energy, or what you provide. Some people only respect you when you're gone. Some relationships only make sense when you're outside them. Some habits only look harmful when you finally step back and ask yourself, how long have I lived like this? Silence is not weakness. It is space. And in that space, your mind begins to heal. You begin to hear yourself again. Your real voice. Your real needs. Your real boundaries. Distance is how you reset your emotional temperature. It's how you stop reacting and start observing. It's how you learn who drains you, who confuses you, and who genuinely cares for you. And here's the truth many people avoid. You do not have to announce your distance. You do not have to justify it. You do not have to explain it. Your peace is not a debate. Your healing is not a community project. Your mental clarity is not something you owe anyone an apology for. Sometimes, closing the door quietly is the most powerful move you can ever make. Not slamming it, not arguing, not proving, not defending, just stepping away. There is silent power in walking away with your dignity intact. There is wisdom in giving yourself enough space to see your life clearly again. And most importantly, distance helps you reclaim yourself. And reclaiming yourself is how letting go truly begins. Rebuilding your life with purpose. Letting go is not just about release. Letting go is about rebirth. Once you've pulled back, once you've created distance, once you've cleared out what no longer aligns with your peace, there comes a new question. Well, now, this is the part most people skip. They want to let go, but they don't know what to rebuild with. So they fall back into old cycles because familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar freedom. But not you, not anymore. This chapter is where the transformation begins. Rebuilding your life with purpose starts with one profound realization. You are allowed to rewrite your life at any age, at any stage, and at any point of emotional recovery. You do not need permission. You do not need applause. You do not need agreement. You need alignment. And alignment comes from clarity. So here are the foundational pillars of rebuilding your life with purpose. 1. Rebuild your routines. Your habits shape your identity more than motivation ever will. Start with small, consistent acts that anchor your peace. Morning reflection, journaling, intentional silence, stretching, prayer, meditation, reading. These practices rebuild you from the inside out. 2. Rebuild your standards. You rise by refusing to participate in relationships, expectations, and behaviors that shrink you. When you raise your standards, your life recalibrates automatically. 3. Rebuild your environment. Your environment is not neutral. It pushes you forward or pulls you backward. Choose what surrounds you carefully. Space determines direction. 4. Rebuild your circle. After letting go, loneliness may knock at your door. But loneliness is not a sign of emptiness. It is evidence that you're clearing space for the right people. Choose people who don't drain you. Choose people who expand you. Choose people whose presence feels like oxygen, not obligation. 5. Rebuild your identity. Don't rebuild who you were. Rebuild who you were meant to be. The version of you that was confident before fear. The version of you that was bold before doubt. The version of you that was whole before life happened. You rebuild your life by listening to your soul. The part of you that knows what you truly desire, what you deserve, and what direction pulls you toward peace instead of away from it. Rebuilding is not fast. Rebuilding is not easy. But rebuilding is how you create a life where you no longer need to let go because you never allow what doesn't align to enter again. This is how purpose grows. One intentional step at a time. The emotional freedom formula. Letting go is emotional. Rebuilding is intentional. Emotional freedom is transformational. But emotional freedom doesn't happen by accident. It follows a formula, a simple but powerful process you must walk through consciously. Here is the emotional freedom formula. 1. Awareness. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Emotional awareness is simply telling yourself the truth without filters. What hurt you? What disappointed you? What pattern keeps repeating? What are you truly afraid of? This honesty is the beginning of breakthrough. 2. Acceptance. Acceptance does not mean approval. Acceptance means recognition. It means saying, yes, this happened. Yes, it hurt. Yes, I held on too long. But now I know better. Acceptance releases resistance. Resistance keeps you stuck. Acceptance sets you free. 3. Release. Release is not forgetting. Release is choosing not to carry the burden anymore. You release by forgiveness. You release by reframing. You release by surrendering what you cannot control. Release is the bridge between pain and freedom. For redirect. Once you let go, your energy must go somewhere. That somewhere is forward. Into new priorities, new relationships, new habits, new direction. You can't move into your future carrying pieces of a story that ended. 5. Reclaim. Reclaim your voice. Reclaim your identity. Reclaim your confidence. Reclaim your joy. Reclaim your worth. You become emotionally free when the past no longer dictates your behavior or limits your potential. The formula is simple, but the impact is life-changing. Awareness, acceptance, release, redirect, reclaim. This is the blueprint, the final release. There is a moment in healing where something shifts. You don't announce it. You don't post about it. You don't call anyone to explain it. You just wake up one day, lighter. Not because life suddenly got easier. Not because the situation changed. Not because the person apologized. But because you released the emotional weight quietly. The final release is not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not a grand moment of closure. It's a calm moment of truth. You look back at everything you carried. The heartbreak, the confusion, the disappointment, the unmet expectations, and something inside you whispers, "I'm done." Not in anger, not in bitterness, not in resentment, but in freedom. You stop trying to fix what's not yours. You stop trying to explain what cannot be understood. You stop trying to force what refuses to align. You stop trying to hold together what keeps falling apart. And for the first time, peace enters the space where pain once lived. The final release is not about forgetting your past. It's about no longer living inside it. It's not about erasing what happened. It's about removing its power over your emotions, your choices, your identity, and your future. You stop reliving the story. You stop analyzing the details. You stop hoping things could be different. You accept. You release. You rise. And as you rise, everything that once seemed impossible begins to unfold in front of you. That is the power of the final release. It doesn't just free your heart. It frees your life. Before we close this masterpiece, I want to guide you through a moment of reflection, one that seals everything we've uncovered. Take a breath. Now ask yourself silently, what am I finally ready to release? Whose approval am I finally ready to stop chasing? What situation, memory, or fear no longer deserves space in my mind? What version of me am I ready to become? Let the answers rise gently. No forcing, just allowing. Now speak these affirmations slowly. I release what no longer aligns with my peace. I am not defined by what hurt me. I am allowed to choose myself. I welcome clarity, healing, and new beginnings. I am becoming the healed version of myself. Now, to anchor this journey deeply, here is your 7-day letting go challenge. Day 1, silence. Spend 10 minutes in complete quiet. Listen to your own thoughts without judgment. Day 2, release one thing. Throw away, delete, unfollow, or disconnect from something that drains you emotionally. Day 3, journal the truth. Write the most honest letter you've ever written to yourself. Day 4, emotional detox. Cry if you need to. Rest if you need to. Walk if you need to. Let your body release. Day 5, reclaim your space. Organize, clean, or reset one area in your environment. Day 6, rebuild one habit. Choose one new habit that aligns with your peace and practice it today. Day 7. Affirm your future. Declare 3 things you are walking toward and 3 things you are leaving behind permanently. This is how your new chapter begins. This is where the emotional weight drops. This is where clarity returns. This is where your power rises again. This is where peace comes home to you. And as you move forward, remember this. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing. Choosing yourself. Choosing peace. Choosing growth. Choosing the life waiting on the other side of your healing. Your new chapter starts now.